For those of you who don't know, I'm the owner of ECKOArt, Echo Certified Sound Healing, Transcendent Lux Lucis, Psychic and Paranormal Coaching for Experiencers, and Infinitus Lux Lucis. If you want to know more about that, then you can follow my channel and you'll learn more about that. There are also links on my channel to the various things that I have. So, I have been doing a deep dive for quite a period of time into, well, like maybe 2.5 weeks here, it's pretty solid, into my maternal side of my ancestry. And just in the last 2 days, I've gone into the paternal line just for a little switch up. Not that I'm done with the maternal, because I'm not. It's a very vast topic. So I decided that I would do some videos and explore the paternal lines just to kind of change it up a bit. And I came across this, which in a lot of the videos I'm showing it from me all the way back through direct lineage, but because the page reset, because I had to reboot the computer, something happened, and it switched me over into just this isolated part of the tree where it starts with these guys. These are in the direct lineage on the paternal side of my family, which I will eventually do a video showing that, but I don't want to lose these and lose my place and then not be able to get back to it, because what I'm finding is pretty interesting. So as I do it, I hover over the names when they're too long to see the whole name, so that both I can document it and you can see it in case it's something that you want to look into. Whether you're into your own ancestry or just into exploring history or just want to understand how DNA tests relate to what actually you can find, there's a lot of reasons why people would be interested in what I'm showing, so I'm sharing it. When you get a DNA test done, they show you, I think, what they finally admitted was you'll see about 1% of your actual ancestry represented in those tests. And there's various websites where you can do a whole lot of research into your ancestry and kind of track it and follow it down for yourself off all the different branches. And, you know, you can usually find documents to cross-reference all of the stuff that you find, and oftentimes I do. This is my first exploration down this side of the tree, but I have found that as far as I've seen so far, most of the things in this website are pretty accurate. This is a website that's well known by a lot of people, and they all recommended, everybody that I talked to about my ancestry recommended that I look at this website. And it's been very helpful because it has it all in one place rather than me hopping back and forth between a whole lot of different sources. But after I've documented, if there's areas where something doesn't seem like it adds up, or if it's not matching up the way that I expect that it should, then I will go back and I'll cross-reference and try to fix some things. I've seen a few areas where I would correct things, like for instance with Cleopatra. Cleopatra was substituted for a woman named Fulvia, who was also a wife of Mark Antony, but they did not have a child named Cleopatra. Selene, I think was her name. Cleopatra and Mark Antony had a child named Cleopatra Selene. So that got left out. So there are areas where I would correct a little bit, but overall I'm finding a lot of accuracy, but I'm finding so much more than I ever knew was there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've just found. And there's a lot of, that's count. There's a lot of counts. That's a count. And come up here. Now, I don't know that much about these people in particular. And again, I will do research when I'm able to afterwards, after I've documented. Alfred, King Alfred the Great, is the brother of Ethelstan. So, again, just to recap, if you don't know who Ethelstan is, if you ever watched the Vikings TV show, you would know who Ethelstan is. He was the King of Kent. And he was friends in the TV show with Ragnar, the king, one of the Viking kings. And this show wasn't completely historically accurate, for sure. In fact, it had Rollo and Ragnar as brothers, and they weren't actually brothers. Rollo was from Denmark, and Ragnar was from Norway. And I'm descended from both of them, but they were not brothers. So anyway, Alfred is Ethelstan, Ragnar's friend, Ethelstan's brother. And he was the King of England. So if I've clicked open this, there's a sidebar I can click open over here, but I'm not going to try to do that right now because it might glitch. And he was the King of England. I did cover part of this in another video. I'm realizing that as I'm doing it. It was a couple of days ago, but the branch that I have open right now, I did not go down. So I'm getting there right now to the new material. In case you watch the other videos and you say, oh, these are familiar, there's a reason why I did go down this part. But I also have found something here that I haven't seen yet. Okay, so all of these people from Mercia. I think that's going to be Ireland. I'm not sure, but I think that's going to be Ireland because that's going to be Ireland. And again, this is down a branch, one of the maternal branches that comes off of the Irish side of my family. So, you know, we knew a lot about Irish kings and different things throughout history, all the way back to, I traced it back to the Tuatha De Danann, which is the race of beings known as the Fae, and also the Celtic gods. Like Lu, the sun god, for instance, is one of my direct ancestors, according to everything that I traced back about a decade ago. So, this is the Irish side of the family, and I did not know that there was all of this in the Irish side because I didn't get to explore the whole thing. 10 years ago, my time was limited, so I can only cover so much material, and then due to an extensive hacking, I lost a lot of the material that I had. Let's see, look at that. Oh yeah, I've seen him. It's a pretty wild picture. Make it just a little smaller. I don't know what that is. Sorry about the kind of zooming in and out here. What's happening here? I don't know what happened. Okay, so let's zoom back. I was so hyper focused. I didn't realize I popped that open. How did I miss that? That's what happens when you just get focused on something. Okay. Actually, I was more focused on trying to keep it from hopping around while I'm recording it, because this can be, it can be finicky with the way that it loads. There's a whole lot of stuff here to research because I don't really know a whole lot about these people. Well, I think... No, I don't know what that is. Now, see, there's not a date on it, but here we have Odin and Frigg, which is Freya. So I have definitely done this before, not on this website, and not on this branch, but I have traced part of my maternal line of my family back to Odin and Freya previously. So, and of course that was through Ragnar and Aslog twice, because through two of his sons. So I have direct descendancy from Odin and Freya on the maternal side of my family. And here, I'm finding it here. Now, I didn't do all the research on these people right here myself. So, again, before I would run off with that too far, I would do a little bit more, because I'm not sure about the time periods here. And I didn't do all of this part myself, but I'm not surprised that this is here, and I find it very interesting that it is listed here. So let's zoom in and just see what these pictures look like. Interesting. So I wanted to document that, because there we have what's going to be a direct line according to this website, which is supposed to be well respected. You know, everybody can put information on it, but it's been pretty consistent. And so here we have Odin and Frigg, and Frigg being Freya. So yeah, interesting. Let's see if there's any more. And they say they're mythological beings, but these are real beings that really existed. If you can trace culture after culture after culture back in their lineage over and over and over again, to a point where you hit a being, you get to a being, and then you say, but the parents of this person, they're not really real. No, people didn't just pop out of nowhere. They came from somewhere. So even if you want to argue that the gods are aliens that made humans with their DNA, they're still beings. However you want to look at it, they're still beings. And if you know what your roots are, or what your roots might potentially be, then you're going to be more easy to mislead. So I feel that it's important for people to look into these things and to start to think for themselves about it. I have a lot of videos where I've traced it back to Adam and Eve, or to the Elohim. I've traced it back to the Anunnaki gods, the Sumerian gods, to Enlil and Ninhursag, and to An in another line, or Anu, and Anu's parrots were listed even. So, I mean, these people, they came from somewhere, and when you get back here and you find here something like this, like Odin and Freya, and then their parents even, or one of their parents, whatever, both parents, I guess, you know, they're beings. They're beings. They're real. They're not myth. They're not myth. So, I'm going to pause this and extend out another branch. And just for the record, I have extended this right here real quick, and that's as much as is there. So I'm going to pause it and go down another one. Okay, I wanted to pop this back on for a second here before I go too far, and I've popped open the sidebar. Click that open over here, and it says that this person, I don't know how you say Baldog or something, was killed by Loki in Norway in about the year 280 and was born in Saxony, Germany. So that might be something interesting to try to look up. And I wanted to document it. So there we have it. Okay, before I go elsewhere, I'm also just kind of looking at and documenting a little bit of information about the people here so that it can be further researched in the future if need be. So this person, I have popped the sidebar open for their information, and I'm documenting this because it seems like there's a good bit of research that went into this person, and it's not that far before, well, after Odin and Freya are listed. So it looks to be that there's actually data here about some of these people, which is what we like. And I will pop that back closed, so if you want to pause it, feel free. And I wanted to document this just so that if there's something that I need to look up, I can. Because it does look like there is actually some basis to these people, which is good. And that's just a few, like obviously it's not that far from Odin and Freya. So, it's only what, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generations forward in time from Odin and Freya. And there's a good bit of information, so to be able to look that up at a later date will be very handy. Okay. I'm not going to do every one of these right now, but I wanted to get a few of them. Because for me, when you see a little bit more information this close to those generations, it's people have done some research into it. And anything that can help you when you're looking these things up is good. Nobility from Ireland. In Ireland, I guess, because she's from Denmark. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and go on to another branch. Also, I just clicked open the sidebar on this king here, and he's from Denmark. So I wanted to just have a look at that because there's not a lot of description there in the title. Okay, so I've gone from this branch and extended this branch out, and we have a King of Denmark, and looks like maybe a Magi, and then it doesn't go any further, so let's just see what this looks like. Okay. And Norway. Asgard. Look at that, Asgard. I would have to do some research before I say any more about that, but I have seen the Asgard elsewhere, and it is in reference to the actual Asgard, whether it's actually that place or something named after it in reference, it's related. So let's look at this one. Asgard. King of Denmark and first king of the Lombards. Oh. Okay. Yep, we have a lot of them down another branch. Okay. Well. See, this is so addicting. You can't know everything about all of them all at one time. It's just not possible. It's really fascinating. Okay, so okay, we have something else really interesting here, which also I found something similar on a different branch of the family. I have found Morgana Pendragon in a different part of the family. And so here, I have come from here down to this branch and extended this out. And Sir Lancelot right here. And it says, if you pop open the sidebar for him, Amigo de Arturo Pendragon. It's Arthur Pendragon. So, if I didn't say that right, it's okay. You can laugh. I'm just saying. That's definitely supposed to be the friend of King Arthur. Sir Lancelot. Again, in my direct ancestry. Really fascinating. This is so fascinating. And I do have a person that I know, a friend of mine that I know from when I was younger, who told me at one point that she believed she was descended from or related to King Arthur. And I was like, okay, it wasn't an area I knew about. I've heard a lot of things about it from different alternative sources over the years, but I didn't really know that much about it as far as being an actual thing. Interesting. So I'm going to pause this. Okay, so I've extended this out a little bit further just to get a little bit more of Sir Lancelot's ancestry. Let's see, what's this one? Israel. Oh, you know what? I've heard that. That is what I heard. I had heard that the Grail King legends that have to do with Sir Lancelot and King Arthur and all of them were really a Middle Eastern story that migrated up into Wales somehow or something to that effect. There's something to that then. It's just not something I was really familiar with, at least not in this lifetime. I'm not. And I have found a lot of what's recorded as Grail Kings intermingled with Israeli, early ancient Israeli things. So this is making sense to me now. Okay, all right. Let's we'll say Ben. As soon as I start seeing this Ben thing come in, I already know where we're going there. It's going to be Israeli, Jewish of some sort, something like that. Okay, so England. In England. Interesting. Oh, a Desposyni Line. Yeah, supposed to be a direct descendant of Jesus, or Jesus's family, his immediate family. So in other words, it would be a descendant of Mary and Joseph. There appears to be a missing generation or two between. Interesting. So she is supposed to be a direct descendant of the Virgin Mary and Joseph in some way, or the Virgin Mary at the very least. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, how this is starting to add up. Starting to add up pretty quickly. So that's what Desposyni means. Desposyni, as I found out in several other branches of my ancestry. Roman Empire. As I found out in several other branches of my ancestry, Desposyni, it means that somebody is supposed to be directly descendant from Jesus's immediate family, which would mean the Virgin Mary at the very least, Mary and Joseph most likely. Okay, so this person is from Rome. Alright.